all my crafting peeps, how are we all doing today? I thought I would pop on and show you a quick little video that I have been asked by a couple of people to share with you. And yes, it's back on my recipe cookbook that I was doing, that recipe journal. So what I'm going to do really quickly for you today, I hope, is just how I decorated this front piece here. So it looks complicated, but it's really not. So I'm going to just take you through how I put that together. So I hope you're going to join me and try something similar for one of your own journals. All right, so first thing that I'm going to use is I've made a base for the journal, so you can, if you want to know how to make this cover or the base, you can go and follow along with the actual tutorial that I've got on exactly how I put this together. So you would have seen me do this before, and it opens up like that. You're going to stick your signature and sew it in right there. This is a pocket over there, and you've got places to tuck in there and over there. And then when you close it, as you know, it has this bit at the back which requires a pouch and a folio, which I also have templates for. All right, so just want to show you how I went about going decorating this. And this is the point when I would normally decorate it, because it's nice and flat and it's easy to work with. So I like to do the cover separately, and then I put in the signature and sew it in at the very end when I've decorated it. All right, so what I thought was, let's go through the process here. Now, just looking at this one over here, I'm going to start with this layer here, which is fabric. This is just a cotton stripy fabric. Use whatever you have, guys, you know, but I'm just showing you how I did mine. So I choose a piece of fabric and I like to put that on the base here. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Fabri-Tac glue, which I've got in the Sugar Belle bottle. So the way I like to do that is put this on. This nozzle's great because not too much comes out of this, and you're easily able to put a very thin layer onto this. Now, because you're going to put lots of things on top of this, it's not too much of a worry about glue seeping through. But when it comes to the edges here, I am being quite mindful and making sure that it's going to be a thin layer. You can use your fingers to smooth that out if you feel it's looking a bit gloopy in places. But I'm not really worried about the middle bit too much, because I know I'm putting lots of stuff on there. All right, so that's the first thing we're going to do, and then we're going to just position that onto the front cover. All right, this is a standard size cover. This is 9 by 6.5 inches, I think it was. So this fabric here, I'll give you an idea. And then once you've got it positioned on here, you can put a little bit more glue in places that you just want to secure down. So that was a bit too much, I suppose. There, I've taken it off with my finger. Fingers are the greatest tools, I tell you, better than any brush for so many things. All right, so I'm quite happy with that. I think I'm just going to put a little bit more over there, and I'm happy with that. So let me just give you some measurements here, but you can see you're looking at about 1/4 of an inch on either side that we've moved it in. So this is just short of, with the fringe, just short of 5.5 inches across, and probably about 8 inches down. So you're looking at 20.5 centimeters and 13.5 that way. All right, I'm not going to give you all the measurements, so you can see from what I'm doing how I go about that. Right, now the next layer that we're putting on here, is just a piece of paper. I've chosen a dark color. This is a My Porch Prints piece of paper, and I'm going to position that sort of central to the fabric that I have here. So I have already distressed the edges for all of this, and I'm just going to stick with the Fabri-Tac because it's here. But you know, you could use whatever glue for this. but it is fantastic for fabrics, and of course with paper as well, so you can't go wrong with that. So just put some glue on there. We're gonna whip it over, and I want to I'm just gauging it here, and it's easy when you've got stripes. And I just tore the fabric to give me that sort of nice ruffled edge. So there we go. And as I'm going, I'm just finding other bits that I want to just stick down a little bit more, and that's absolutely fine. But this is how it is. Okay, so we've got the next layer on there. Now what I want to do is I want to show you quickly how I go about making this bit here, because it does have, it's a little pocket and it does have a little card in there, and that card does open up and you can write in there. So I'm going to show you this bit next. So let's do that. So we just stick that back in there. Right, so what I did was, let's just put that to the side. I've got a piece of paper. This piece of paper is the gingham page from the My Porch Prints kit. And this is from Grandma's Kitchen, and it's a fantastic kit if you haven't looked at it already. Now what I've done here is, this is the length of my page. All right, so I've taken the full length of the page here, which is about, let me tell you, it's an A4, so it's 29.5 centimeters or 11 3/4 inches, but I am going to trim off a bit so it will work. And the width here is 4.5 inches or 11.5 centimeters. Okay, so that's what I've done. And then what I have done is I cut off that piece, and I have then scored a line here, which is 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimeters, so that I have I've scored it, and I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to stick that down. So let's do that quickly. This is just reinforcing the edge of this pocket, and also when you pull your card out, you don't see white, so it's got dual purpose there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half. So just do the length of your page, and then I'll tell you how much to cut off. And that will be different depending on whether you're using a US letter size or an A4, but your finished size is going to be, I'll tell you now, 5.25 inches or 13 centimeters. So we want to measure, I'll do it in centimeters this time. We want to measure 13 centimeters. Okay, so that's what you need. So that's why I say it doesn't matter if it's A4 or letter, because we will be trimming it to a size like this. Right, and then I'm just going to take my knife like that. You can use your scissors. Okay, just do it slowly, ladies. If you there we go. And we've got a little pocket here, so that pocket will open up like that, and when you put your card in, you're not going to see any white over there, and I don't like seeing the white. All right, so then what I did was I had a little window here. So what you want to do is open, well, you can leave it closed. I just decided that I wanted to have about, let's see, tell you how much it is. It's 3 squares and a half. So you're looking at about 2 centimeters right around, or in centimeters, in inches, we're looking at 3/4 of an inch border on all 4 sides. So you're going to measure 3/4 of an inch on each of the sides, and you're going to draw a line around each one of these. So let's just do this quickly. And it's pretty much 3 squares, but I'm going to measure it just so that you know. So just showing you how I get the little sized window. like that. So we've got this little rectangle drawn out there, and then I just took, you can either take your scissors or your craft knife and cut out that window. All right, so I have done that, so let me show you what I mean. All right, so here you can see I've cut out that window already like that. So now we've got this bit, so you can see the edges here that are folded over. And now what I want to do is, that's going to be our window, so I'm going to do a few things to this really quickly. The first is I'm going to put some plastic on here, some acetate. You can use vellum, you can use packaging from, you know, any film from packaging, anything that you've managed to salvage. And I'm going to stick this down. This is the inside, so I'm just going to put some of my glue down again. Don't go too close to the window. Okay, then I'm going to just take that and I'm going to drop that on the top there like that. All right, so there's our window for our pocket. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, so there we go. If you look at it from the right side, there you can see it. And now I don't like the white here. I always like to cover that up. So I have just taken a piece off one of the sheets that is like a multicolored collage, and I'm going to just see exactly where I need to stick that and cover that up. So I'm going to stick that down, just gauging it here like that, just to cover the white. You don't have to do this bit, but this is how I go about it. All right, so we just get that all stuck down nicely, and we'll put that down there like that. Just trying to gauge it. The nice thing about this glue is if it's not quite right, you can always move it around, so that's always a bonus. And it just moved on its own now, right? Just checking that it's where I want it. All right, okay, so we've got all of that done. That's stuck down nicely. That's going to go on top like that. And all that I want to do now is, I did actually sew 3 little buttons on there like this. 3 little buttons. So I'm going to do that quickly, and I'll be back to show you the last few steps. Okay guys, I thought I would just show you how I go about sewing on these buttons. This is just my method. Of course, you can do this any way that suits you. What I do first of all is, I take my glue and I put a little drop of it on the back of my buttons, because I like to line them up where I want them first of all before I actually stitch them. So I put a tiny amount of glue just on the top and base, away from the actual holes themselves, excuse me, and then I just position them where I want them. That's the first thing I do. And then what I do is I take my little piece of foam and my pokey tool, and I make little holes through this material, because this is going to be a lot easier than doing it with the needle, especially as you've got to go through a piece of acetate. All right, so that's what I do there. And then and you don't have to sew them, but I like to have the look of sewn buttons, and then I go and I sew them. All right, so I use embroidery thread. This is like a gold color, and but of course you can use usual cotton. You don't. This just makes it look like I've done a lot more work than I have. All right, so I've just got a knot on the bottom there, which I'm going to cut right back. All right, so it doesn't bulk up, and then it's just a case of sewing them like normal. All right, so I will come back in a moment after I have completed all of this. So then I'll just do 1 or 2 stitches, and because it's embroidery thread, it's nice and thick, and then it looks like you've done quite a few. All right, then let's just go to the next one. Sorry if this is very basic, but sometimes people ask me the most basic things, and not everybody is, you know, not everybody has done this before for crafting. So I suppose sometimes we want to just cover those things. So that's the way I do it. So I hope that helps some of you who aren't used to sewing on paper. because I know I do get quite a few questions about those sorts of things. Right, so there we go. I didn't even have to come back and show you. There we have our buttons on. Okay, and then the way I finish it is I just go into the back of the stitch, and I'm just doing what is probably a bit of a chain stitch. It's just to make a bit of a knot. So under the thread, make a loop and pull it over the thread like that. Okay, so I've just done 2 of those, and then I'm just going to cut that off. All right, so that's how I go about doing that, and I'm sure there are many different ways to do that, but that's my way. Right, now what I'm going to do is, I don't want that catching on my card, so I take my trusty old masking tape and I just cover that up there. So we probably got more than I need width-wise, so I do. So I'm just can gauge that, lift this up and cut off the bit that you don't need, the width. All right, and then by sticking that over the sewing, it's going to make it nice and smooth and your card won't get stuck on there. I can't rave enough about masking tape. It really is so handy. All right, so there's that all sorted. Your pocket's pretty much ready to go. What I'm going to do now is, this bit is obviously on the fold, so I'm just going to put a little bit of a stitch line around there. Of course, you don't have to do that. You can just glue on those 2 sides and that would be the job done. All right, so I'm going to go and do that and I'll see you back here in a minute. Okay, so there you can see I've just actually stitched on that side and that side there, and then that completes our pocket. So we're ready to go with that one. And then what I did was, to go inside that, I've cut out this pocket that you get with a kit, and I did print, turn the page over and print one of the other pages from the kit, just so that it is not white and you can still write over that like that. And then all I did then was I took one of the little tabs that you get there with a kit. I've stuck on the word yummy, and I'm going to just stick that over on the edge over there like that. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to just put some glue on this one again, just on both sides. Okay, and then I'm going to just attach it just to the edge here, and I'm going to leave it a little way out, so like that, so not too far in. We want to see a little bit of it sticking out, so just on the one like that. All right, now that is ready to go inside this pocket here, and there you have it. Okay, so that's all ready to go just like that, and it just a little bit of the word sticks out there just like that, so that's ready to go. Now what we're going to do is, that's going to be positioned over there like that, and then what I did was I took one of the little tickets, so the Royal Baking Powder one, and I'm going to position that just over the edge there like that. So I'm going to put that over there, and then I had a little scrap from the collage page. This is the West Paris Creamery Company. I quite like that. I'm going to use that together with a strip of the really big gingham paper print that comes with the kit. So I'm going to position that sort of there, and then that bit will end up going there like that. And then I had another little word, the cookbook word, and I put it onto another piece of the smaller gingham check, and then that's going to just be the title of the book that goes over there like that. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. All right, so I will speed up the actual sticking down of this. Then, not too far to go now. I've used a little piece of rickrack. This is like a nice beigey brown color. I get all my ribbons from Plum Boutique. I will put the link in the description box below. That goes down just across there like that. And then the last thing, I think, I am missing a piece of ribbon somewhere. It's on the table. There it is. I've got another piece of this beautiful little embroidery anglaise type natural colour beige. I just folded a little scrap of it like that, and I just tucked it to go at the side there like that. And then our little lady that is part of the kit, she's going to go and stick down just like that, and that's our whole cover. All right, so I'm going to go and quickly do this and probably speed it up, and you can follow along and see how I do it, but that's exactly how it's going to look, and that's really as simple as that. So follow along and let me know what you think. Okay, everybody, so there we have it. That's the cover all ready to go and stuck down, and as you can see, it's exactly the same as the one I've pretty much shown you. So there we have it. All right, so please go and have a go at this if you were following along with this cookbook. And do go, if you like the cover, go and have a go at this, or do something in your own style along similar lines and see how you get on with it. It just shows you that you can put lots of layers together. It's not hard at all, and you can do one for yourself as well. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for spending time with me again today. It's always a pleasure. Love seeing all your comments and messages. Thank you all for being so awesome. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the very next video. So thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.